the game, cause see the boxing voice.
Well, he definitely spoke about tactics and feeling like he knew what he needed to do for Shawn because of Shawn's bullying style.
He needs to run. He needs to run. He know he needs to run. He is not going to sit down and have a cup of coffee, a sip of tea with Shawn Porter. He know he going to run on fight night. I guarantee you he's going to run on fight night.
Well, switching gears just a little bit, obviously a fight that's taking place in your division is next week on January 23rd. In the West Coast, you got Danny Garcia taking on Robert Guerrero, which is a common opponent of Keith Thurman. How do you see that fight playing out?
I see Danny coming out on top of that fight. I'm a Robert Guerrero fan. I like Robert a lot. He's a very tough fighter. It's not going to be an easy fight for Danny. You know, it's not going to be an easy fight for Danny at all. But, you know, as Danny's dad said, Angel said, you know, he don't understand why two young guys like this want to face up and match up. We don't have to do this in front of television. We don't have to do this for no big money. We do this because we love to do this. So if it's a challenge, we want that challenge. We're not looking for easy ways or easy fights or you know, anything like that at all. So for us, Keith Thurman, yes. After that fight, the winner of Danny Garcia and Roberto Guerrero, which I believe it will be Danny, you know, Angel, yes, be prepared for us to start hollering your name as well.
Now, do you feel like, you know, I know you heard that also, that audio, because you called me, where he said that Shawn didn't need to be fighting Keith Thurman right now. He felt like that fight could be built up, whereas though Mayweather-Pacquiao a couple of years ago would have been 20 million, now they got 180 million. So he's saying Keith and Shawn, you know, for them to go in there and one come out with a zero or damaged, the money should be right.
Again, like I said, we don't need to do the fight for any other reason because the love of the competition. That's why we're doing this. So Keith is a great fighter. We consider ourselves to be great fighters. We want to show the world that we're a great fighter. He wants to show the world he's a great fighter. So you don't duck guys or wait until somebody can negotiate a better purse for you to take that fight. You know, you just don't do that. I don't do that. He's not going to do that. So the same things that Keith is referring to as far as me speaking for Shawn, I'll speak for Shawn in that instance. I'm not going to let him duck somebody for more money. We're not going to do that. We're going to take this fight against Keith. We're going to get less than you, Keith, but we're going to get more the second time. So go ahead and make it 2 times. Let's lock in 2 fights for this year. Let's get that done.
Is this the...
Let me say that real quick. I think anybody out there listening, or if you're Keith, anybody, you think that that's a dangerous deal to make. I think it's a perfect deal to make. Like my dad said, you already know who you're fighting 2 times. No matter what, you're getting the money, build it up. It's already, the second fight is already built up from the first. So it makes sense. Make it happen.
Well, guys, I mean, definitely you've answered the questions, and we can't wait for this fight. We're happy that it's finally happening, and you know, we wish you guys the best. So, any final thoughts?
I gotta look to him.
Take your pick. You can box us. You can hold us. You can run, but you are not going to fight us. That's guaranteed. Take your pick from any of those things that you want to do on fight night. And you got to face your fans that night. You may not have to speak to everybody, but you got to face your fans that night. And for us, win, lose, or draw, we coming to fight. Can't nobody take that away from us. We're coming to fight, so you're not going to be disappointed. There'll be no disappointments.
You know, I gotta ask because normally people, when we hear someone say that, it's like subliminally you're telling him, don't box, stand and fight. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying subliminally. I don't care what he does that night. We'll be prepared for running. We'll be prepared for boxing. We'll be prepared for fighting. You know, he said some things about we got to deal with his body shots. I don't think you want to be that close to us. He's talking about letting the left hook go, then you're going to take a left hook. You know what I mean? So to get some, you got to bring some. So when you bring some, you're going to get some. And if we got to cut the ring off, if we got to chase you around all night and cut that ring off, that's what we're going to do. You know, and then that's going to be something that you're going to have to deal with, because when we get close and up close and personal, then you're going to have to fight. We're going to make you fight whether you want to or not. Or you can grab us and hold us, you know what I mean? And we're going to do whatever we can to make sure that nobody can hold us anymore. We done been through that once, so we don't ever want to have to deal with that again. But you learn from those situations, and we ready and prepared for this fight. More prepared for this fight than we've been for any other one and previously in his career.
The sight in the game, 'cause see the